for Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. This marks the Thunder's 5th trip to the conference finals since relocating from Seattle back in 2008. Head coach Chris Finch, he said that this Timberwolves team, they had to prove that last year wasn't a fluke, and they did. Minnesota back in the conference finals for the 2nd straight year, still chasing that elusive first NBA Finals appearance. And to get there, they're going to need a big-time performance from rising superstar Anthony Edwards as he goes head-to-head with MVP favorite Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Wolves have never reached the NBA Finals. Well, it's been 13 years since the last appearance. This is what it is all about. NBA Today starts right now.
It's game time, baby. Y'all ready to ride for me like I'm ready to ride for you?
Yellow, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness! Anthony Edwards! Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, target! Randall with the stop.
Gotta get another one.
I said it's game time. Yeah, I said it's game time.
You gotta have confidence at an all-time high.
Hey, welcome to NBA Today, where we are live from Oklahoma City. She is our do-it-all analyst and my ponytail twin, Andrea Carter. We invited Brian to join the club.
Where's your ponytail?
I
need a little bit more lead time.
Okay, a little bit more lead time, and Brian will be joining us. Brian Windhorst, our senior writer here. Brian, there are very few places like Oklahoma City, especially in the postseason. We are back here after a several-year delay. Can you just set the stage for us of what tonight is going to be like?
In the July 4th weekend in the middle of the night, back in 2019, they kicked off a major rebuild here in Oklahoma City. Traded Paul George. A couple days later, traded Russell Westbrook. Here they are, rebuilding years later with home court advantage, a chance to try to get back to the NBA Finals for the first time in over a decade. And then the Timberwolves. They were here last year, and they weren't ready for it. They beat the Nuggets in that incredible Game 7. They came into Game 1, and they were overwhelmed. Immediately, it was clear the Mavericks had the advantage. They were playing from behind. They have worked so hard over the last 365 days to get back here, to have a better mindset, to have a better rest. They've done it. So here they are with a chance to rewrite their history for them.
And in some ways, the script has been flipped here for the Timberwolves. Last year, they were the ones coming off of a grueling 7-game series. Now they have the rest versus the rust sort of scenario that they're going to be weighing here. Before we look ahead to what we can see tonight, let's just remember how we got here. The Thunder and the Wolves, they have met 4 times this season. They split those meetings 2-2. Here's the caveat, though. Both Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, they only played in Game 1. We're going to show you the highlights right now of what exactly this looked like during the regular season, taking it back to how those games shook out. The story of this Game 1, this is New Year's Eve. This is the SGA game. He finished 2024, 40 points, 15 of 23 shooting against Minnesota. The other story, OKC turned the Wolves over 24 times, 16 steals, Brian.
Can't happen. If that happens again tonight, it's going to be a blowout again.
You do not want that. February 13th, remember, this is without Julius Randle or Rudy Gobert. Naz Reid stepped up big time.
Naz Reid's been huge. This is why he has won 6th Man of the Year. This is why people were getting Naz Reid tattoos. His ability to put points on the board. He'll be doing it off the bench in this series. He could be a big spark.
27, 14, and 7 for Naz Reid. More on him in just a little bit in that game. To February 23rd we go. This is where SGA tallied 37 points for the Thunder in the win. He led an 18-4 run in the 4th to take the lead that OKC would never look back from. So OKC wins Game 3 of this season series, which brings us to one of the best comebacks we saw in the regular season. We're going to pick this one up. The Timberwolves have been down by a 25 in this one, but Anthony Edwards, a huge block there on SGA. Just a huge clutch defensive play. Here's Anthony Edwards on that block.
Oh yeah, when I blocked it, I was definitely talking a lot of trash, for sure.
And that's what we love about Anthony Edwards, right? They get the win in this one, come back from down 25 thanks to his clutch play in the 4th and overtime. But that was the past. This is now. These two teams, they know each other very well here, Brian. Game 1, what are you expecting?
Okay, so I want to take you back to that last game that they played here, February 24th.
Yeah.
Thunder up 25. Game's in the bag, right? Chris Finch, the Wolves head coach, is like, you know what? I'm going to try something. The 4th quarter of that game, he goes to a 2-1-2 zone. Some would call it a triangle and 2, to force the ball out of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's hands repeatedly, as we just saw here. Guess what? The Thunder, look at this, here he goes again. The Thunder did not react to this well. All of a sudden, the Wolves get going. What I want you to remember is, not in the first quarter on their first possession, guys. Remember how the trap on the zone affected Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Right.
I would not be surprised to see the Wolves come back to that, especially late in game one if they need it.
But the Nuggets ran more zone against the Thunder last series than any series over the last 12 years that we've seen. So now the Thunder has seen a whole lot of that. What are you watching here?
You know, it's interesting. You were talking about Minnesota's defense and what they're going to do against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. For me, in game one, my eyes are on Oklahoma City's defense. I mean, you talk about the Nuggets series, and what did Oklahoma City do so well in game 7? It's not just that they forced 23 turnovers. They scored 37 points off of those turnovers.
Stunning stat.
That's incredible. This Oklahoma City defense, they're coming off of a game 7. They could be a little tired. Who knows if the shots are going to be there, but what can you count on defensively from the Oklahoma City Thunder? Them to be all out, they're going to be connected, and they're going to get offense from their defense. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, certainly something that you can always rely on is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He is the MVP favorite for a reason here. You look at teams with 20 or more turnovers in these playoffs where the Timberwolves are, all other teams combined are here when you look at those numbers. But Chris Finch, he is keying in on SGA. Let's take a listen together to what he had to say about the Thunder superstar here.
It's so frustrating to play this team because they foul a ton. You know, they really do. They foul all the time. And then, you know, you can't really touch Shai. And it's a very frustrating thing, and it takes a lot of mental toughness to try to play through it.
Okay, so SGA, he led the league in scoring. He's coming in at 4th in free throw attempts per game at just over 8. What makes him such a lethal scorer? Because we just heard Chris Finch talking about how much sometimes he looks for those fouls, and he's very, very shrewd at that.
He's so crafty with the ball. And I try to put myself in the mind of the defender, and I would be so frustrated because of the way he changes speeds, right? He lifts you, you're coming down, you can't do anything about it. You talked about he led the league in scoring. He was 3rd in the league in and-ones. Now look at the space he has to operate one-on-one against Jamal Murray. He gives the bump. Now, this might not look like a foul, but watch Jamal Murray's body go into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's the way he keeps his eyes on the rim and finishes plays through contact. Again, Alex Caruso is going to clear out. What does that give SGA? Room in the paint to operate an attack. There's a little ball fake there to shift the defense, and this is what happens. He lifts the defense up. You try to go for the shot fake to block it, and you end up fouling him. What does he do great? And one, he finishes those plays. It makes him so tough to guard.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about the Oklahoma City offense is they're so in tune with where to go, let Shai go to operate. He knows exactly where he needs to go. They know where to move. They've got 10,000 hours together, and you're going to see it in the way they play together in a game like this.
And what I love about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of my favorite interviews, remember when he was like, my whole life is consistent. Yeah. Right? That was like one of the biggest things.
In everything I do.
My favorite thing, but he has been consistent. 8.8 free throw attempts in the regular season, 8.7 free throw attempts in the postseason. That's been a part of his game all season long.
Certainly, this is when we get to this point in the playoffs, the stars need to shine the brightest. That's the SGA side of this equation. But you know, Andrea, that Anthony Edwards has been waiting for this moment, as Brian said, for a year to avenge what his Timberwolves did last season. What are you seeing from him? How's he getting it done?
Well, you know, in honor of our Chiney Ogwumike, what does she always say, right? She always punches her arm, says styles make fights, right? So SGA gets 3 points the old-fashioned way with his and-ones, right? Anthony Edwards has gotten threes from the three-point line. The way that Anthony Edwards has been able to knock down threes, when you talk about him being 2nd in total threes in the playoffs, shot 44% in the Warriors series from beyond the arc. He has been lights out from the three-point line, but he sets it up with his athleticism. That's what makes him so tough to guard, because he can get downhill. So watch this. Rudy Gobert rolls